back. Unbelievable. Week 11 NFL. It's flying by. Roll by. Week 12 college football. Big fight coming up in Dallas. Tyson gets Paul. College basketball. NFL. 3. Unreal. 2. 1. All right, guys, we are back. Welcome back to the show. I am Scott Matthews, the host of the one and only Get the Edge, and we have been getting that edge. TK's been on fire. I kept up with him last week, and he had a huge week. And we got our man, Teddy Brooks. He's on assignment. Basically, he's out of town today, but we're going to have him on the show very shortly. But I want to introduce my man, my partner in crime on the set with me today, the one and only Tommy King Jr., from TK Wins. What's up, TK?
Hey, what's up, guys? Like you said, another great week last week.
You're
3-1
killing it
overall, man. Killing out. I did derail Indiana. They got the win straight up. They didn't cover the spread. They were unfortunately up 13, and they kind of took a break in the second half. But great week overall. I'm going to get the sweep this week. I'm bringing up next week. I'm going to bring in the broom because I'm sweeping the board this week.
3-1 last week. Continues his winning way on the show. And yours truly right here had a nice 3-1 solid week as well. So we hope you pick up some winners and want to bring on our other partner in crime at places unknown, but he's there. Here he is, the CEO of the Sports Profits. What's up, Teddy Brooks?
I've been a little under the weather, but I still want to come and deliver the goods to the people, and that's how dedicated and committed
loyalty,
I am.
Baby.
2-2 last week. I just want to make a good point, guys, that we were talking about before we started the show. Make sure you watch this podcast early, subscribe to this podcast, click your notification thing and turn it on so that as soon as we post this podcast, you guys get it so that you guys get our moves before the Lions move.
Let me ask you while I have you, Ted. You've been watching this college basketball, some exciting games last night. We had number one team in the nation, Kansas, go against Michigan State. Pretty close game. Kansas prevails by 8 and covered. And then you had a really big game on the late game last night. Kentucky against Duke, and Kentucky, with their new head coach and all, rolls on to their third straight win, beating Duke. I think they won by 2, right, TK?
Yeah, they won. They were a 7-point favorite too. Duke was favored by 6-7
they
or
were,
something in that game.
Yeah,
I had
Kentucky.
Dog. Yeah, they were a 6-point dog. It moved down to 5 before the game, and that movement had me take a look at it. And yeah, they were definitely the play last night. College, we were talking about it before, college basketball, these lines move big. So it's important to kind of figure out where to get on the game before the movement happens sometimes. But then sometimes the movement can actually signal the play, like for me, what it did with Kentucky yesterday. But yeah, they're rolling without Calipari. I'm interested to see what Duke can do with this new Cooper Flagg kid that they have.
Yep.
He's their new star.
Yeah, he's all world, they're saying.
Yeah,
I agree with you, Teddy. If you're playing these college hoops, you got to get your butt up early in the morning and bet them early, because if you're playing these totals, some of these totals can move 6-7 points. If you're on the right side, you can get some middles in these games.
Yeah, they definitely do move. There's no doubt about it. And guys, you got to be careful out there this time of the year with college basketball. Like last night, for example, they had over, about 40, 50 games on the board. I mean, you got to be select when you're betting these games now, because you can't take too many chances. You don't want to blow your bankroll, whatever you're trying to do early in the season, by just chasing after a bunch of games. So try to be a lot more selective. I mean, we preach that all the time here, and try to look for the matchups that makes more sense to you, and look to get that edge versus just playing the play. I mean, it's like you're just like a loose cannon doing it like that. You agree with that? Where you, like in the beginning of a new season, the numbers are, going to be off. And guys are just out there trying to have action, chasing after these games. I mean, they got to be real careful. They're going to get, they're going to get beat up.
Yeah, when I bet college basketball, I'm up early. Like I said, my plays are usually in, by 10 o'clock in the morning Eastern time, because these lines can move. It's a lot of public money.
Yeah.
If you're on the sharp side, and I know Scott and me, we use our own set of power ratings. He's got his own numbers. We're number guys.
Mm-hmm.
So when our number is off by 2-3 points, we're jumping on early.
I thought that number on that game tonight, that game last night, on the Duke Kentucky game, was definitely a little too high. I jumped on it. I saw that number was about 6.5, 7, then slowly creep down to 5.5. I thought it was a gift. I really did. I thought that Kentucky could match up against them. I mean, you got two of the best teams in the history of college basketball going at it early in the year. Yeah, I mean, obviously they always make Duke
the public's choice. They're like the Dallas Cowboys of the '80s and '90s, America's team. But Duke's not the same as they used to be. I mean, it's a whole different type of situation. I thought the value was there on that line. I jumped all over it. I loved Kentucky in that game last night.
I liked him. I didn't play him last night, but I would have had Duke probably a 3-4 point favorite, so we had a couple point edge on that one. I really don't play the college basketball for another week or so. I'll probably start on Monday.
Gotta watch it.
Gotta watch, man, especially with these
Yeah,
freshmen
I'm
playing
with you
now.
on that, TK.
This NIL stuff. You got these younger kids coming to these games now playing. I mean, guys leaving in their junior year,
Right.
sophomore years going to the pros. I mean, I'm all over the NBA right now. I'm glad to see the Miami Heat lose last night. I'm not a big Heat fan.
Oh boy!
glad
How about
Detroit-
what was the deal with Eric Spoelstra with the fantasy timeout? What the hell was that all about?
I mean,
That's a guy that
Detroit was up by over 19 in that game. They
calls
gave it
a
up and
timeout.
then Hero, he was just draining threes left and right in that game.
He
That
had over
closed out the
40.
Wait,
game.
what happened, Scotty?
Spoelstra called the timeout with no time on the
They
clock.
got a technical on that, yeah.
And they gave him a technical. Detroit. I mean, Detroit hit a shot with what did they hit it with? Like 1 second left.
Yeah.
And Spoelstra called the timeout, but they had no timeouts left, so they gave him an additional foul shot, technical foul, and they ended up losing by 2. Instead, they would have lost anyways, but he called the timeout. He had no timeouts.
You guys know I don't talk about the NBA a lot, but how about the Golden State Warriors? If you've been tailing this team, you've been making some serious dough. They've beaten both of the NBA Finals teams. They're 9-2, and then last night it was really cool. Klay Thompson came back. It was very emotional. Steph ended up, putting the nail in the coffin on him and the Mavericks. But
that was a great game.
I think the Warriors are looking like
if you're talking about NBA basketball team right now, if you've been rolling them over right now, you got Cleveland 12-0. If you bet the money line every game, you're making some money on that.
Oh yeah, they were one of 8 teams in the history of the NBA to start a season off 12-0.
11-point favorites tonight against Philly.
Yeah, well, Philly, I don't know what the deal is there right now. Embiid looks like he's it's like a deer in the headlights out there. I don't know what's going on. They got to gel. They got to play together more. Now they're playing against a team that's just playing as good as they're on all cylinders. This Cleveland team. I mean, right now it's all about. It seems like OKC at this point. You got OKC, you got Boston, you got Cleveland. I mean, those are the dominating teams that are coming out of the chute in the first 12, 13 games. And I think when it's all said and done, the Celtics are going to find a way to be right back into the NBA Finals this year. What do you guys think about the Celtics getting back there to the finals?
I think we talked a couple of weeks ago too. I said I took the Celtics to win the finals. I mean, they're just too strong. I mean,
their bench, they got a lot of key role players. They all gelled together, and they're still not fully healthy. I think what's his name still been out of the lineup, Jaylen Brown, or is he back? I think he might have came back the other day, but he was out. Porzingis, was in and out. I mean, but they got so many great players around Tatum and all those guys. I mean, they're strong from top to bottom. They're going to be a tough out no matter what happens. Even if Cleveland has their best season, they're still going to have to run into Boston and see what happens.
Yeah. I've never, just based on last year and the fact that not enough has changed, I've never seen a team run through a conference the way Boston ran through the East last year. It was the craziest domination that I've seen in years and years and years. I'm trying to think, and I just can't recall that type of domination from the first round to the final game.
Well, don't forget, a lot of injuries came. A lot of teams in the East, the Knicks were banged up. Indiana got banged up. There was a lot of teams banged up, so it made it a lot easier. I mean, I'm not discrediting the Celtics, achievement by winning, which is great. I'm a Boston guy, but there was a lot of key injuries. But I'd like to see what happens this year because I think this, if they go back to back, then they're about as real deal as it gets.
Yeah, I'm a Milwaukee Bucks.
I think they're real deal.
I'm a Milwaukee Bucks fan. They're up and down. I think they're 3-8 to start the season. They win big one game, lose big the next. I don't know what's going on.
Well,
they
won last night. They won last night finally.
They played Toronto. I mean,
yeah. What are they? 3-8 right now.
3-8, and they played Toronto. Toronto's just a horrible team.
Well, they got no Middleton. He's still out. They got some guys that got older. I mean, Giannis, you can't. After a while, you're going to figure out how to control Giannis somehow by sticking a couple of guys on him. And they don't really have a lot of weapons. Obviously they got Lillard. When he's on, he's brutal. But I don't see them being a force in the Eastern Conference this year. I just don't see it.
I know Teddy's not a big NBA fan, but if you follow these lines in the NBA lately, I've never seen so many teams favored by double digits in the NBA as I have seen this year. I mean, the
It's
Spurs.
becoming lopsided. No,
I mean,
look at tonight. Look at tonight. You got a 9, a 9, a 14, a 9, an 8, a 9.5, a 7. These are big
yeah,
numbers.
Spurs are starting to gel. They're starting to come around. I give them another year or two. Spurs be one of the top contenders in
Oh
the
yeah,
NBA.
Wembenyama.
Yeah.
I think I
Greg
got it right.
Popovich had a minor stroke about a week ago.
Yeah, well, that can motivate the team a little bit, but they got
Yeah.
they're still a young team, and I like TK said, I like to see it down the road what's going on. But listen, guys, we got a ton of things going on with college football winding down. We're in week 12. Can you believe 2 weeks from now the actual season is over in college football outside of the Army Navy game in the first week of December? And then they go into all the bowl games. I mean, I can't believe how fast the season's gone by. It's
It's boom.
crazy.
By 2 more weeks, I'll be eating some nice turkey for Thanksgiving to watching a little football. So
I heard rumors you're going to be out of the country
I'm
for the
thinking,
holidays.
think I got the boys, Billy, George, and the boys. I think we're gonna jet over to the Bahamas for a few days. A little
Yeah,
Baja Mar, a little Atlantis action. Anybody wants to join us? We'll be at the crab stable.
there you go.
Ooh.
And you should join these guys because when they get hot on the crap stable, they get dangerous. So you might come out profitable if you follow these guys on the. They seem to have that lucky horseshoe up their butts when they're.
Hey TK, how's the turkey in the Bahamas? They
Uh,
got some good
they
turkey
got
there.
some good
What?
turkey. They serve it. They serve it out there. We go for a nice dinner on the Thursday night. We go to Sea Fire, get a nice surf and turf. No turkey, a little surf and turf, but
Which
Oh
place you
wow,
go to?
okay.
we'll go to Sea Fire, grab a little dinner
No,
on.
I meant which
Well, we'll
casino?
be at Atlantis. We'll be at Atlantis. This
Atlantis.
trip. We fluctuate back and forth between Baja Mar and Atlantis. I like
Yeah,
Atlantis a little bit better. They take care of us there. Their table's a little bit
they
hotter
got
there
they got
for
a
me.
nice sports book there, don't
Yeah,
they?
William Hill, nice big sports book. You can
Yeah.
watch games. We're gonna watch the games there on Thursday, probably Saturday and Sunday. We'll watch all the games in the sports book there.
All right. Well, talking about sports books, it's time to beat these damn sports books this week, guys. And we got some excellent situations coming up in college football on Saturday. I think Friday. I'm going to kick it off since Teddy, you're offset today. I want to start with you and ask you your opinions on your plays for college football for Saturday. How many games you looking at?
I'm looking at 3 games on Saturday. I do have one that I like the most. I know you love it when I have a best bet, and I do have a best bet. The first game that I'm looking at, and this is not the best bet, I'll let you guys know when I have the best bet, is this Arkansas-Texas game. This Arkansas team, they're coming off of a beating against Ole Miss. Ole Miss destroyed them 60 some to 30 some.
Right.
But then they had a bye week, and Petrino has 2 weeks here to really put a plan together to at least contend against Texas. Their SEC hopes are done, their playoff hopes are done, but I do believe that they are going to cover this 14-point spread here. They're going to try to play spoiler against Texas because the way things are going right now in the playoffs, Texas really can't afford to lose another game. This is a huge game for Arkansas, a scary game for Texas, and I'm on the team that's on the bye. They're coming off of the bye here with Arkansas plus the 14. This is my only dog on Saturday.
Okay. All right. That's a tough call, but listen, I'm not playing the other side, but right now, the way Texas is rolling and they want to stay in that hunt for the national championship, obviously, I think they're ranked third in the country, coming in after a blowout winner against the Gators and playing well right now against, like you say, a team. So you like them because basically they got their asses handed to them by 30. You feel like they're going to have that extra week off to prepare, try to bounce back after having that poor showing and have a shot to stay in the game against Texas.
Yeah, I feel that, and I also like the number movement here. This game opened with Texas sitting around 16, 17, 15 to 16, and now it's actually down to 13 and a half right now. So I'd make sure to buy this back up to 14 and take it at 14. But I like the line movement. I like the fact that a lot of the public's on Texas. It just has the showings for I think like a 10-point Texas win where Arkansas can cover that spread.
Okay. Anything else you're looking at Saturday you like big time?
Yeah, so here's my best bet. This is SMU versus BC. I formulated this game last night. It was at 16 and a half. It's already at 18 and a half. I know TK likes this one also. SMU's 9-2 against the spread in their last 11 games at home. BC's 2-2 against the spread on the road, and BC's 0-2 against the spread in their last two on the road. Listen, Boston College just announced that they're benching their quarterback for Grayson James. Excuse me, guys. The flu's getting me a little bit. So Tommy Castellanos is being benched for Grayson James. To me, this signifies, because Grayson James is younger. To me, this signifies a look to the future. Not necessarily giving up on the year, but I think they're looking to develop this young kid for the future, which does show me a little bit like they are giving up on this year. SMU's defense is fourth in EPA per rush. They're 25th in EPA per pass. When you put a rush defense like SMU against a team that's starting a new quarterback, that tells me that SMU is going to shut down their run and they're going to put all that pressure on that quarterback to perform. I'm seeing a beating here. SMU is first in yards per play in the ACC and first in yards allowed per play in the ACC. This rushing defense for SMU, it's exactly what Boston College does not want to face here, and I see an absolute beatdown. Now, as far as the line goes, 18 and a half.
Showing 19 and a half right now, too. Moving up.
It's flying, man.
Yeah.
It's flying. It was at 18 and a half an hour ago. This line's flying. If you have
it moving,
it's 18 and a half solid everywhere right now.
really? I'm showing 19 at Hard Rock. All right.
Well, Hard Rock,
Yeah, I mean,
they could juice up their lines there.
Yeah. All right.
well,
So that's
because they're the only show in town.
is that your
So
best?
that's my best bet.
Okay.
I'm gonna move it to 17 to be safe. Hop on this game now. If you're watching this video on a Thursday or a Friday, I am very confident this line will be 20 by Saturday.
All right. I'm going to kick it over to TK, and you got one more play in college. I'll let him come in with a play, unless you want.
Yeah, you come back to me later. No big deal.
Okay. TK, man, you're the hot man on the totem pole here. We gotta go to you for the go for that.
I'm
go
looking
for the
at
gusto.
Teddy's thing right now. I don't. This doesn't look like a goat to me. Kind of looks like a corgi. I don't know. To me, we'll have to change that up.
We're putting it in front of you because you deserve it, brother.
Oh, it's better than this. I don't know what
it looked
the
like something my mom serves at Thanksgiving dinner with the butter.
You gave me a puppy dog.
But yeah,
it's the top dog, Scotty.
You might be taking that to Atlantis with you. That little statue. You can put it on the sports book in front of you right on the table. Go right ahead.
Well, you know me. I like my Friday night lights, and I'm going to start off with a Friday night light game. We're going to go with this game, Houston, Arizona. Arizona right now is 1.5 and 46. I'm going to jump on the dog here, small dog. I'm going to take Houston plus the points here. Houston 5-1 their last 6 against the spread on Friday nights. They love these Friday night matchups. Arizona just 0-5 against the spread their last 5 games. 1-5 against the spread their last 6 home games. I'm looking for Houston to get the win on Friday night, and I'm going to take this win going into Saturday.
Yeah, it's the tale of two teams right now. It seems like Houston's picking it up a little bit. They started out slow. They won their last couple of games in a row. Seems like they're playing a little better, getting a little momentum riding. And Arizona just got absolutely destroyed. What was it, 56-12 to UCF a couple of weeks ago? But they're on a bye coming into this game, so who knows if that bye is going to help them or that hangover is going to carry on. But you like Houston plus? Is it plus one?
I'm going to take Houston plus the 1.5. Like I said, it's going to start my weekend off right. I've been hot on Friday nights. I got screwed on Oregon about 4 weeks ago. I haven't lost a game on Friday night since.
Okay.
I'm going to get you paid with Houston on Friday night.
What are you rating that game?
4 stars on this one for Friday night.
All right. What else you got?
I'm going to shoot over to Saturday. I'm with Teddy on this one here. BC against SMU. It's 18.5 and 54 right now. And like Teddy said, SMU is pretty hot against the spread right now. SMU 5-1 against the spread their last 6. They're 6-0 against the spread on Saturday games. I'm looking for SMU just come out and roll this one, win this game by at least 25-30 plus. A big blowout here on Saturday with SMU to roll them.
Okay. You're taking into consideration, obviously, the quarterback for BC, the starters out.
I just see SMU. They played their first 2 home games.
Yeah,
they played at Nevada, barely won. They lost to BYU. Ever since that, when they're at their home games, they've won by an average Don't quote me on this, but I think they won by an average of 25 to 30 points at home since BYU beat them.
Yeah.
So
Well, it's a team that averages 40 points a game, so you know they can put it up on offense. The BC doesn't have the offense. It could be a long day for them. So you don't think 19's a big number, huh?
they should win this game. I would say by 25, 30 plus. Just roll them. They're going to steamroll them
Okay.
in this game on Saturday.
What are you rating that game?
4 stars as well.
All right, you heard it, guys. I got a couple of games I really like this weekend on Saturday. Matter of fact, one of them, this team has just been quietly winning, and no one's been touching them and coming within 8 points of their winning streak. They've won 7 in a row. You got Tulane going against Navy. They're making Tulane a heavy favorite. I think in a situation like this, going on the road at Navy, who's a 7-2 team, yeah, they've dropped one. You know, they've won 1 out of their last 3. Started the season off like a buzzsaw until they ran into Notre Dame and got crushed. But I love Tulane in this game. I mean, you got a team that's averaging 41 points a game. A couple of key things that I like about this, they have one of the highest third down conversion ratings in all of college football. So what does that mean, guys? If you think about it, that means they keep the ball moving. They don't give it up and punt. They keep finding ways to convert those third downs into first downs. And they're ranked 6th in the nation at doing that. And I just think that the momentum right now that Tulane is playing, they're playing on a whole different level at this point in time that I feel that Navy is. And I think Navy's going to run into a buzzsaw. Yeah, they average 35 points a game, Navy, when they're right. But when a team's keeping the ball, that means they're keeping it away from the other team's offense. And if the other team's offense doesn't have the possessions like you do, you have a big edge. And if you're converting like this team is, Tulane, and winning 7 straight games in a row, 4-1 on the road, I love Tulane in this matchup. I would get this line down to -6 because I'm seeing 6.5s and 7s. I'd buy it down to 6. I think Tulane wins this game by 12 to 18 points. No contest winner. Looking for them to get the job done and move on with their 8th straight win in a row. Another game that hit me, not playing the game itself as far as this, I'm using both teams to work for me. Coastal Carolina and Marshall. I love the over 56 on this total. I see both of these teams putting up points when they play against each other. I think this game's going to be a wide open type of game. These teams can average 30 points each, both of them. So that takes it right into the 60s. I think that the weather conditions not going to, have anything to do with the game. It's going to be favorable weather conditions. I like this game. When I saw the number, I said, "Damn, I could see these teams scoring 62 to 67 easily." So I'm going over the 56 on the total. First time I put out a total, I think, in college football all year on all the shows we've done. Going over 56, Coastal Carolina or Marshall. Those are my 2 huge plays for this weekend in college football. That's it, guys.
I think that's your first total all year, period, Scotty. I love it. We don't do a lot of totals on this show, but they're very valuable if you have the right numbers, man. They really are.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm looking at numbers, I'm looking at matchups, I'm looking at offenses, I'm looking at defenses. When teams like this, they're not as well watched, obviously, as the big games, the big matchups like Georgia and Tennessee. I thought somebody had a play on that game.
I got one going in that way. That game you gave out, like Coastal Carolina Marshall, you must say hit it early because I ain't opened at 53. It's up to 56.5 already.
Yeah, it's moving. It's moving. I think they made a bad number on that game. When I looked at it, the first thing I said, this game should be about 61 points. That was the number I came up with. And I'm pretty good, in numbers. It's on certain situations. But when I saw that number down there, and now I started creeping up, like you said, I saw it at 53. I said it looks like it's 60, at least 60 or more game. And it's moving up, still at the 56, 56.5. I'd keep it at 56, guys. I'd lock it in. Get the line to 56, even 55. There's a certain number that sticks in my mind. 55 looks like the right number to lock in at. I would lock it in right now at 55. I think you got a little gift here. I think these teams score at least, like I said, mid-60s between both of them. I want to talk about that game because that's a huge play. I don't want to miss out on
I'm
talking
jumping on
about
that
the
one.
SEC game of the week here between Tennessee and Georgia. If you got a strong opinion,
I'm on this
let
one.
me know.
I'm on this one. Tennessee right now, Georgia right now, the lines moved. It was 10. Now it's up to 11 since we sat down here. I'm jumping on Georgia in this game. Tennessee just 1-4 against the spread their last 5 games, and they're 0-5 against the spread against Georgia. Georgia coming off that big loss last week. I'm looking for to take them out on Tennessee. Georgia's just going to steamroll them in this game. I'm telling you right now, Georgia win this game by 20 plus.
I got to ask. I'll go to Teddy in a second. Teddy, you got an opinion on that game at all, or?
Yeah, I do. I'm with TK. I think first of all, I love Ole
Why do
Miss.
you
I
guys
love
like
what they
Georgia
did.
though? Because they really look so terrible recently. They didn't play well against Florida. They played terrible, and they're making a lot of mistakes. And now they're playing against a pretty decent team. I mean, it's a pretty high-ranked team in that conference. I mean, I'm not touching the game, but I'm just curious why you guys really feel strongly about Georgia, because I don't see them playing their best
I have a
football right
couple
now.
reasons.
I got a
I
few
have a
too.
couple reasons. So number one, Kirby Smart. I think he has the knack to get his team back to where they need to be. Let's not forget he is one of the best coaches in college football.
Right.
And I do believe that Heupel's good too, Tennessee's coach. But I just think Kirby Smart. I don't think he's going to let his team lose 2 weeks in a row like that. The other side of me looks at it and say, "Wow, that's a big number." But guess what? The odds makers know what they're doing. They wouldn't put the number there if they didn't feel like it was the right thing to do. So between Kirby Smart, the odds makers, and listen, if Carson Beck can limit his
Yeah, that's the
mistakes,
question, though.
that's important because I've seen this guy throw a lot of interceptions. If he's throwing picks, they're not going to cover. But if he can limit those interceptions and limit just the mistakes that he's been making, and it's kind of sad because he could have been a Heisman candidate, but he's just made a lot of mistakes this year.
I got to
Seems
throw
like the
this.
pressure,
I got to
something's
throw
getting to
I
him.
got to throw these numbers at you guys right now because you might. I don't know if you. I'm sure you did, but let me just throw a couple of numbers at you on this, Matt. Offensively, Tennessee 38 points a game. Offensively, Georgia 31 points a game. Defensively, Tennessee's defense only allowing 12.5 points a game. Georgia's defense 18.4 yards, 18.4 points per game. They're giving them 10 points, a team that's dominating both sides of the ball, scoring more points and letting up less points. And, I'm just curious. I think this game's I think this game, in my opinion, listen, I'm not disagreeing with you guys at all because you're great at what you do. But look at the numbers here: 480 yards offense per game for Tennessee, 422 yards offense for Georgia, 288 yards against defense per game. Tennessee only allows, and Georgia allows 325. They've got them beat in every statistical category, and they get 10 points. I don't know. You guys must know a lot more than I know.
Hey, Teddy, I'm going to grab this phone from him and throw it in the trash because I'm looking for Georgia to roll them in this one, man. They're coming off that loss.
Well,
they're going to come out
saying,
strong. Even a blind squirrel gets a nut every once in a while.
All right.
Here's what I'll say,
no blind
Scotty.
squirrel.
Here's what I'll say.
Don't you think that's
this
a line
line opened at 9? This line opened at 9.
Right.
If this line moved from Georgia -9 to Georgia -8, or from Georgia -9 to Georgia -7, I'd be on the other side. I'd be on Tennessee. But you got the money split 50-50 on this one. They're pushing it towards Georgia for a reason.
I think I know why.
The public isn't on.
I think I know why. Is the quarterback questionable for Tennessee in this game? Nico.
I don't know about that. I haven't heard that.
Something like that. They show he's got a concussion.
Yeah,
is he the starting quarterback?
He's questionable, but that shouldn't even
You
matter
might
in
have
this
just
game.
solved
Well,
the
it does
Rubik's.
matter.
You might have just solved the Rubik's cubes,
Right.
Scotty.
That's why the line is 10 points.
Well, when I watched this line open up early on Sunday afternoon at 2:00, I mean, it opened up early. I bet it early. You know me, I jump on the sharp numbers early.
Right.
The Serica actually opened it up at 7.
Okay.
The line moved about 4 minutes later at the -9
yeah,
probably.
well, now it's making a
on
little sense. If the quarterback's out, now you got a replacement in that environment.
Yeah, so he did go on in concussion protocol in the first half.
Mhm.
And they're not really saying right now. So
just
I
says
think that
questionable.
could be moving the line.
But
Yeah.
But it's still open at 9.
Georgia after that loss to Ole
right.
Miss, they're gonna come out firing hard.
How you rating that game, T?
4-star as well.
4 stars. Teddy, is that a best bet for you, or you just a
No, that wasn't
lean play?
that wasn't a pick that I wrote
Okay.
down. You just asked me about
Okay.
it, and I gave you my opinion on it.
All right, excellent.
I think me and Teddy should bet you dinner on this one. I'll give you 14 points in this game.
You give me if there's no quarterback, I think I'm going to stay out of it. If the quarterback starts, I'll take that all day long from you. I'll even throw in an extra round of drinks if I lose. Ben, as long as you're with me on that one.
Ben likes his Manhattans down there. I know he.
Do you like those Manhattans?
I think
All
he
right,
likes the
guys.
bartender better, but
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I heard about that
Money
bartender
split
and Ben. What's going on with the bartender
Money
and you, Ben? Trying to make some moves over there or what?
Hey, what can I say? What can I say?
All right, we're gonna shoot a show live over there, so let's not get
Couple
thrown
more
out
weeks.
before we get there. All right, guys, listen. Yeah, we hit it. I think we touched base on everything in college football. Anything else?
I got one more.
One
I got
more?
one more. I'll make it quick. Yeah, one more. Well, I got two. I got three.
All right.
look at
the
Ted.
Baylor
You're on.
Bears are playing-
You're not. He's still trying to cut you off even when you're not in the studio.
Listen, it's okay. It's all right.
I love Teddy.
As long as I'm here and not in the bathroom, I'm a happy guy today.
That's it, man.
So that's all that matters to me. All right, so Baylor, I'm going to keep it quick. Baylor is 4-0 against the spread in their last 4 against non-ranked opponents. West Virginia is 1-4 against the spread. I'm sorry, 1-4 against the spread in their last 5 at home. This one's an easy one for me. Baylor's been putting up points. They've put up 36 or more points in the last 4 games. They're steamrolling teams. They're covering spreads. They're putting up points. I think that trend continues here, and I'm going with the Baylor cover. The line's sitting at 2.5. You don't have to touch it. Play it at -2.5 and lock in Baylor.
Okay, so you like Baylor against West Virginia at West Virginia?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's an interesting game, Ted. I got to be honest because both these teams are 5-4. They're both playing better right now. Baylor's won, I think, 3 in a row, and West Virginia's won their last 2 in a row. So they're both coming into the game on a high, and you like the road team to get the job done. All right, good.
I do.
Are we gonna
I
move?
do.
Are we good on college football, guys?
I'm good, man. I'm ready for some NFL after last week's wild
All right.
games in NFL. I'm ready for some
Well,
NFL this
you know
week.
what they say with the NFL, right? Not for long. That's the slogan we hear. Not for long. So we got to keep the winning going, though. Make winning great again. Remember the slogan, guys. We got to make winning great again. Last week, TK and I got the make winning great again, moving in the right direction. I'm going to kick it off with TK because I know he's itching at the bit for the NFL. He loves a couple of games. I think you like 2 games this week.
I'm actually only playing one game
One
in the
game.
NFL this week.
Oh, that's even
And
better.
I'm winning this one. I'm telling you right now.
All right.
This is going to be a winner. I'm going to this Atlanta-Denver game. Denver right now is 2.5 and 44. I'm jumping on Denver in this game, man. They got screwed last week against Kansas City, a game they should have won. And I'm firing right back here with Denver, laying the 2.5. Denver 6-2 against the spread their last 8. And Denver 4-1 against the spread against NFC. Like I said, Bo Nix is going to come out and get us paid on Sunday. Another late afternoon game. Going to go with Denver, lay to 2.5 at home and knock them out here. Atlanta. Atlanta didn't show nothing against New Orleans last week. They're not going to show nothing against Denver this week.
What's your thoughts on Bo Nix?
I like him. He's starting to gel a little bit. You know, he's moving the ball a little bit more. He's starting to run a little bit more, getting out of the pocket.
Okay.
You know, so looking for to do the same thing against Atlanta's defense. I mean, you saw what New Orleans did to him on Sunday. I mean,
well, they got hot. They got robbed on that Kansas City game, man. Jesus, that was a cheesy field goal, and 4 guys. I mean, not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 friggin' defenders for Kansas City rushed through the line. Any one of those 4 could have blocked that field goal.
If you think about watching that game, why didn't Denver just try to run the ball a few more plays and instead of taking that knee? I know you're taking a chance of fumbling the ball. You get a little closer, you might even score and just put them out.
Yeah, but but
you're playing Kansas
inside
City.
the 40 NFL kicker in Denver.
Kansas City's got a horseshoe up their ass right now.
Well, that's what it is.
You know, they're playing Buffalo this week. It might be a different story this week in Buffalo.
As we've all preached here on the show, and I'm sure I've heard it from all of you guys, Teddy, you, myself. When you're a good team, you find ways always to win. Yep. When you're a shit team, you find every friggin' way to lose it. It's proof. I mean, you can't bet on shit teams to win for you because they find ways to turn it over, make crucial mistakes at the wrong time, and at the end of the day, it comes back to bite you in the ass as far as betting them. But all right,
when you're talking bad teams, you're talking the New York Giants.
I'm talking all New York teams right now. How about except maybe the Knicks are starting to play a little better, but Giants, Jets. I mean, come on now. Whew. It's unbelievable. They can't, with all the money in the Mecca, the big Mecca, New York City, they can't find winning teams for like decade. I mean, how long has it been for the Jets? It's been multiple decades. It's just crazy. Aaron Rodgers should go take a little hiatus, maybe go on one of those
safaris
retreats again or something, disappear.
Ayahuasca retreat. It's been over 50 years for the Jets, a half a century.
Yeah.
You can't
Broadway Joe,
You can't
baby,
do anything
walking
with
off
that.
the field,
I'm
predicting a win.
I'm actually with you. I didn't write it down, but I'm with you on that Denver pick, TK. I actually went with Atlanta last week, last minute bet that I put in on them, and they were just atrocious against the Saints. So
That's
I
another
love
guy.
what Bo Nix is
That's
doing.
another quarterback that really makes me think, wow, what's going? Kirk Cousins. One week he looks like the greatest of all times. The next week he doesn't perform. It's crazy how from one week to the next, that's some of these guys they just can't stay really consistent. It's unbelievable.
Oh
Like
no, he's very inconsistent. It's pretty crazy. Just you never know what you're gonna get from him week in, week out, which is another reason why I like Denver. And with Bo Nix, you kind of do know what you're getting from him, which is a steady improvement every week.
And
I
Denver's
think he
got
gets a
they got a
little
good
bit better.
defense. Denver's got a great
They
defense too.
do.
yeah,
They do. They have one of the best secondaries in the
I
league
was
right
looking
now.
at the defense here, and Denver's defense is pretty good. They allow less than 18 points a game on defense, where Atlanta's allowing almost close to 24 points a game. Obviously, the offense favors Atlanta. They score a lot more points per game, 24 versus Denver's like 20 a game. So it looks like it could be a defense. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think that game has potential to be a low-scoring game or a high-scoring game?
I see Denver running the ball a little bit more, so probably a little bit more low scoring. I think the total is 44 right now. I mean, I think Denver is going to start moving the ball on the ground.
Any early weather indications on that? Because
Nothing.
this time of the year.
It just did snow in Denver the other day, I think.
Okay.
But
Because that could mess up the game too.
I know you guys got to get to your selections, but
Yeah,
Detroit, man, Detroit come back on
Oh
Sunday night,
man,
unbelievable.
5 interceptions and
Unbelievable.
they still win.
That guy, I
Jared
felt so
Goff
bad
looks
for
so
him.
terrible.
That Stroud, I felt bad for him, man. He threw that one interception. I would have locked the game in. I mean, I had the dog in that one. I won by a point. But
How do you dominate the first half 23-7
don't score nothing in the
and you
second
score
half.
no points in the second half?
That's crazy. Detroit, man. It's
I don't know if
14
you
point
guys.
favorites this week.
It's funny you brought that up. Did you see the interview with Dan Campbell at halftime with the reporter? And he says that we need to take advantage of mistakes immediately. And the first play of the second half, they throw a pick. Stroud throws a pick right to Detroit. It was like crazy. It was like scripted almost.
There might have been double-digit turnovers in that game. I'm not
Oh,
sure,
yeah.
but it was pretty close.
Yeah, it was high. Teddy, anything else in the NFL? Are you good? Because I got
Yeah.
two.
So
I got a
I have
couple I like. Oh, you guys. Excuse me. Before I ask
I
you,
have
go ahead.
yeah.
Go
No,
right ahead.
go.
You guys have any
I'm waiting
opinions
on
on
you.
the two huge matchups, Baltimore and Pittsburgh? I mean, that's going to be huge. Kansas City and Buffalo. That's one of my plays. But are you guys lean in on any of those games? Because those are the marquee matchups this weekend for sure.
I'm staying away from Baltimore after
I'm
that
not.
Thursday night game.
I'm
man.
definitely not.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm definitely not touching the KC Buffalo game. How do
Okay.
you bet? To me, signals are showing Buffalo, but how do you bet against KC at this point? I mean, maybe that's going to be your pick. I'm excited to see it.
Mhm.
I just wouldn't touch that game. I mean, they're two teams I just don't really want to bet against. But um, the other game, I just think that Ravens, high powered offense going up against that staunch defense of Pittsburgh, it's going to be a entertaining thing. But I think that the offense wins that game in the end. So I would lean. It's not a play for me, but I would lean Baltimore if I had to make a selection on that game.
And those teams, those games are very tight all the time. When Baltimore plays Pittsburgh, generally, it doesn't matter where the game, it could be played in Oshkosh. Those games are going to be very physical, tight games. They always seem to be. And, it makes it exciting, obviously, because they kind of
Yeah.
mirror image each
They're
other. They feel each other out.
they're field goal games.
Coaches have been coaching, in the league for many, many years, so they know each other left and right. They know the game plans going into the game, basically how they're going to play. I got two games I really like. You guys are going to probably laugh, but my number one play is the Miami Dolphins this week. I picked them the other night. I said they would beat the Rams. I liked them so much. That was a game I keyed on. I liked them the week before, even against Buffalo. So I put them out the week before. I thought they'd cover the 7. I loved them even more on Monday night against the Rams. And I love them even more this week because I think they're going to have a big game. This is I think a kind of a stepping stone kind of game. I can see the Dolphins going on a little tear here where they win 3 or 4 in a row. And this is the type of game that could easily spark plug them. I think they're playing right now they're on that cusp where they could either fall apart or start moving it up. Not saying they're going anywhere at the end of the day, but they want to have a respectable record at the end of the day. Tua's been playing fantastic the last 2 games. I think he's going to have a huge game against a shit team like the Raiders. To be honest, 1-4 on the road, the Raiders this year. They lost 5 straight games in a row. They're not good on offense. They're shitty on defense. This is the perfect game for Miami to come home and have a blowout in their building. So I think Miami wins this game. The current line is 7.5. I wouldn't even leave it on. I'd bring it down to 6.5, keep it under a touchdown. I think Miami wins this game by double digits easily. This is just the making, I think, for Tua to go off with his weapons and really run the score up. And I think their defense will show up enough that it will cause mistakes for the other side with the Raiders. So I like Miami to blow them out. That's my number one play for Sunday.
And I like that.
They look good on Monday night. I think they stopped in Vegas on the way home from LA too. So
they went to the craps table looking for you. I think
it might be twice they beat Vegas in 1 week. They went in the casino.
And you can't really use the excuse that they're going from the East Coast to the West Coast back to the East Coast, because the Raiders are coming from the West Coast to the East Coast for this game. So it's the same travel distance. Both teams coming back. Coming from east to west, from west to east. Excuse me. So I don't see any disadvantage.
I like that play
there.
a lot, Scotty. I like that play a lot. I just want to add something. If you look at the 3 games, they're only 1-2 since Tua has been back.
Yeah.
But if you look at all 3 games, the first 2 that they lost since Tua came back, were close games, were
very
close, tight games,
competitive.
And if you look at that whole situation, it seems like the entire team plays differently when they know they have Tua. I mean, even the defense is just looking so much better.
Right.
So it's impressive the way they rally around this guy.
What I like about that, what you just said, and you hit the nail on the head. The defense jacks up based on how the offense is going. So if Miami jumps out to a lead, it seems like the defense says, "Oh shit, we got to do what we got to do because we got a lead now. Now we got to step our game up." So it seems like you said, that the defense is rallying around the offense, and as long as Tua stays consistent and doesn't force things or do crazy stuff, or they have turnovers, unfortunately the turnovers could be the killer. I agree 1,000%. I think Miami can.
He does like to force plays. It scares me a little bit. He needs to kind of relax with that.
We should go to the game on Sunday, guys. I mean, my buddy Big John's gonna be there with the Vixens crew with a big barbecue, man. We can have a blast at the game on Sunday. They get there at like 9 in the morning, start partying.
Ben, I don't know anyone that gets more invites to different things to have fun with than this guy. I'll tell you, I got to be him when I grow up one day. And I got one more play, guys. You mentioned to it, how do you beat Kansas City? You don't beat Kansas City, guys. I love Kansas City in this game against Buffalo. I'll take my 9-0 record with the Chiefs going into the Bills. I always find ways to. I think that Josh Allen always finds ways to make a crucial mistake in a game, when he starts forcing to trying to do something, in that defense with Kansas City, if you start doing stuff like that, they'll eat you alive. Mahomes just finds ways to win. I've never seen anything like it other than Brady. He just always seems to have the knack. And another thing, they're the number one. I think the number one in the NFL. Number one. Think about it. And they're not winning games by a lot. If you think about this stat, it's pretty impressive. Number one team in the NFL third down conversions this year, over 52 to 53% converting on third downs. What does that mean? It keeps the ball in their hands. They're not giving the ball away like other teams are giving it away, 3 and outs. So they find ways to do it. He always steps it up in big games. 2.5 points is like a gift. I don't know how you give Kansas City ever any points with this guy running the show and their defense. I'll move this line up to +3. I'll take the dog in this game +3. Yeah, Buffalo, come and beat me. If you could beat me, God bless you. But I don't think you beat me in this one. Take Kansas City, guys, +3. Best bet. Those are my 2 best bets in the NFL.
Yeah, that Mahomes, he's something else. He sprains both ankles, hurts both ankles. They tape him up. He comes in. They thought he was out for the game, comes back in and wins the game. It's crazy.
5-0 at home, 4-0 on the road. No more balanced team than that in the NFL. Number one on third down conversions. The guy always finds ways to win. I don't know how he does it. Sloppy, not sloppy, blocked field goals, mistakes, whatever the hell it is. They find ways to keep winning games. That's what we talked about. Good teams win. Other teams that are good, sometimes if you're not as good, you make crucial mistakes, and the good teams take advantage of it. I think that's what's going to happen in this game. I think there's going to be a couple of mistakes that will give Kansas City the edge to win this game. Boom. Those are my two.
I can't argue with that.
Yeah, I think Teddy's got an NFL play too, didn't you?
He already, I think.
Did he? You already thought he had one more.
No, I have not. Are you ready for it? TK, give yours first. I'll go last.
I already gave mine. I'm
already
only
gave it
playing
out.
Denver.
Okay. All right. Oh yeah, that's right. I agreed with you.
We're
on that
jumping
one.
all
right.
over.
So I'm looking at the Bengals versus the Chargers. This is an interesting matchup.
That's a good matchup.
This Bengals offense, powerhouse offense that the defense just keeps letting them down. The Bengals have won 5 of their last 7 games. I got a lot of trends for you on this one. 5 of their last 7 games as dogs. The Chargers have lost 3 out of their last 4 at home following a win. The road team has covered the spread in 9 of the Bengals' last 10. And the Chargers are not covering spreads at home after a win. Like I said, here's the thing with
Oh boy.
this team defense. Such a stout defense. I was just saying, everyone's talking about the Chargers defense, right? Strong defense, stout defense. But let's look at the teams that they've played. They've played the Titans, the Browns, the Saints, the Cardinals, the Broncos, the Chiefs, the Steelers, the Panthers, and the Raiders. Out of all those teams that they've played, only 2 offenses rank in the top half of the league. I think that it's an inflated defense that you're looking here with the Chargers, and I think when they see an offense like Cincinnati, I think that this team is going to steamroll and put up a lot of points against the Chargers. Now, both games where there was more than 42 points scored in the game, the Chargers lost both of those games. So if you have a high scoring game, and this total's set right now at 47.5. So the tape says that in high scoring games, the Chargers can't keep up and that they lose. And I think that's what's going to happen here with this one. I'm going with the Bengals on the money line.
Well, you're asking for a lot, Teddy. I gotta tell you that, because the number 1 defense in the NFL, as crazy as it sounds, Pittsburgh, all these other great teams, is the LA Chargers. 13 points a game they're allowing.
But so maybe I was breaking up when I said it, but look at the offenses that they faced.
Yeah, I understand.
Titans, did I go? Oh yeah, you caught that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that numbers wise, they are the number 1 defense in the country. But when you take away and you look at the 2 teams with good offenses that they've played, it's not the case, and they've lost both of those games. So the 2 teams that they've faced with an offense that ranked 15 or better, which is half of the league, they've lost those 2 games. So I think when they face a top 5 offense like the Bengals, I don't think they can keep up.
Well, speaking about your Bengals, why did they? Speaking about the Bengals, why did they go for 2 points on that game against Baltimore the other night?
Why? Because
that's a new thing.
Road teams do that.
I think they went for it because they shouldn't have had the first down and that 4th down. They were half a yard short, and they figured they got lucky.
They trust their offense. Their coach is a little bit of a gambler.
Yeah, but look at their record. I mean, I would have put that game in overtime and taken a chance.
Why?
You get the ball first and maybe drive down. But
I agree.
It didn't guarantee overtime. It gave Lamar like 40-some seconds with the ball.
Did it?
Yeah, I agree with I agree with the call. I really do.
I
think when you're on the road and you got momentum, you drive all the way down and get that touchdown, you go for the win. You don't go for a tie, because now you got – it was like that Tampa Bay game with Kansas City. Look what happened. Tampa Bay comes all the way down the field. Boom, ties it up, coin flip, never saw the ball again. Mahomes drives down, scores.
And Baker knew as soon as he lost that coin flip, he knew he lost the game.
Yeah, I like the call. I like the call because I think you trust in your team. You got a great quarterback. You got weapons. I mean, you got momentum. You scored that touchdown. You're going in with momentum. Why not go for the win?
I guess
it depends who you're going against. If you're going against like a Lamar Jackson or a
Teddy, we got to wrap in a couple of minutes here.
We're
getting the looks over here from Ben. We got to wrap her up in a little bit.
Well, here was one thing in the NFL on Monday night. Houston's playing Dallas. Lisa, Dallas doesn't have to worry about the sun in the stadium on Sunday night, so you don't have to worry about that one.
What a mess.
There you go. All right, guys. Well, I think we touched base on everything. We talked some college basketball. We talked college football. We talked the NFL. Touched a little bit on the NBA. I think we got some great plays out there for the audience. Guys, follow these plays. Our guys here, we're working it. We're putting in the effort. We're looking to give you that winning edge. That's why we're called Get the Edge. So, follow our plays. I mean, you could do whatever you want with them. At the end of the day, it's your call, it's your money, it's your choice. But I think we could give you some good advice and put you into that winning edge. And speaking of the winning edge, Teddy, how can the people find you each and every day? I know you're putting out good information, quality stuff, good content for the audience. How do they get it?
Yeah, so you can go to thesportsprofits.com. You can go to Instagram, _profits_pick, or you can go to youtube.com/@thesportsprofits. I would suggest checking out the Instagram because that's where we post the most content, the most free plays. I would also suggest going to the website for the articles and all the extra goodies there.
Okay, great. Guys, he does a hell of a job. He's here. Look at him putting in the effort. He's not 100% by any stretch. We appreciate you coming on. And that's dedication right there, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't understand that, I don't know what to tell you. My man right here, the shiniest shirt in the world, the man behind Robert Graham's next design, the one and only TK Wins, Tommy King. How can the people find you? Because you're putting out so much winning right now. I don't think they want to find anybody else but you at this point.
They can go find me right at my website, man, tkwins.com. That's the best place to get all my information, purchase picks daily. And you can also follow us. We do put stuff up on Instagram daily, some nice stories. You can go to that right there at tkwins on Instagram. Find us there for some free plays daily.
And you've been crushing it.
Yeah,
Congrats,
been killing, man.
You're on a good roll. Keep it going,
Knock on wood, man.
All right, guys. I'm Scott Matthews. I'm the host of this great show, Get the Edge. You can find me and all the stuff I put on. We're on a heater right now. We won our last 4 straight games in a row on the free picks. And we're hitting over 61% over 6 years on social media. That's pretty damn good. I mean, these games, we put them up sometimes 24 to 48 hours in advance. So we don't have all the time in the world because we're trying to get them up there so as many people can check them out. But check out my official page for Instagram. It's SM Sports Picks, Picks. Get it right, SM Sports Picks. And also, I'm on TikTok, my official channel, SM Picks, Picks. One is Instagram, one is TikTok. All right, guys, the show's up all the time. Each and every week, we're here doing it, trying to give you that winning edge. We want to make you a winner. We're trying to give you the best advice we can. Check out the podcast show. It's called Get the Edge, as I just said. And it's on Spotify. It's on Apple. It's on our official YouTube channel. Click and subscribe. Subscribe to our channel, Get the Edge Sports Podcast. All right? You guys have a great day. Take these games that we're giving you, turn it into some money, and we'll see you back here next week.
Woo! TK and Teddy in the house. Big Ben in the house.
Till next time, boys.
All right, bro.